dashed lines that we're going to make. Let's take this next one and we'll make that as a dashed line as well. So select the object, make it into a dashed line, and again it is set to the last one that we did. Okay, so instead of making this thing instead of, I'm going to manipulate one of the lines that I just made. So click and shift, whoops, alt to copy. There it is. And since this line gap, the dashed in line gap stuff is already set, we'll reset it to, let's see, let's try 24 as the first dash, and we'll leave the second gap or first gap as 12, and leave the second dash as 1, and then 12 for the next gap, and then let's set the next dash to 1 and see what that brings us. Okay, so that brings us a line dot dot spacing line dot dot. So what we can do is maybe manipulate this one. So if we follow that pattern, this one probably should be what, 24? And that brings us, oops, maybe I have some of the gap spacing wrong. Dash 1 point dash, this should be a gap of 12. It's kind of hard to keep track of all these. So if you kind of start setting a pattern in, you could create various different line types. So this line type right here might be used in a property line. Okay, if you use this and put it to a cap end, it'll create this thing. If you want this portion right here square like these guys, you can change the second dash into 6. Actually, I want to keep this last one, so Control Z, and then maybe copy it, and that way I can manipulate this one into the cap, and then change the dash into 6, this dash into 6, and maybe manipulate some of the gaps. So maybe the gap should be 6 as well. Yeah, I keep forgetting to 6. That's gap 6. Okay, so now I have a square version of this property line, or what? Okay. Okay, select this rectangle that we have and also make it into a dashed line. Please note that down here, well, again, the last set of dash commands that you, or dash specification that you put in, is what's going to appear. Note on here that this aligns the dashes from the corner, which might look cleaner than putting it to this version where it just starts from one section and just retains all of the line spacing and gap spacing, which is what it does. So when you have a rectangle and such, it might be best to use this align dashes to corner instead of using this preserve exact depth to inch. Okay, what I just okay, so we have another line. I'm going to copy that, and if I want this thing to be just simple dots, select it, make it into a dash. Right now we could do a, whoops, that's the wrong one. I didn't want to do that one. I want to do this one. So select it, copy it so I keep the original line. And instead of all of these, I'm going to select to put in maybe 1, and then 24 or 12. Alright, let's say 24. And then erased all the others. Okay, that way I have a spacing with the 1 point and a round cap. It will make these circles, right? So if I copy this guy, I could turn this now into, let's say, select it, and instead of gap being 24, if I turn this into 12, it should make it into half the size of the spacing. As well, if I select this, copy it again, and turn the gap into 6, that should make the spacing even closer in. Maybe that's too close. So let's try 16. Oops, select line. Let's try 10. 8. Okay. So with that, you could create dots that are further apart or closer together. So what we're doing right now is making all these different sets of line types, and you could keep them in your library as such.